NASCAR Winston Cup Racing on Fox is brought to you by Pizza Hut, home of the new stuffed crust gold pizza. 66 laps complete. Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front after pit stops. There are a lot of things you can bet on this race here in Vegas. We made one of those things our Singular Wireless Virtual Crew Chief question. You can vote now from your Singular Wireless phone by sending text message FOX to phone number 191, or you can visit foxsports.com to vote online and stay tuned for the results. You can bet on whether Dale Jr. will finish in the top 5 here. You can bet on which make will win the race. You can bet on which rookie will finish up in front.
I tell you, a problem that Dale Earnhardt Jr. right here in the Budweiser car has is these cars trying to stay on the lead lap. You've got Rusty Wallace right there in front of him in the 2 car. You had Jeremy Mayfield in the 19, and out in front of that group was Sterling Marlin, who drove back by Dale Earnhardt Jr. So he's really having to fight these guys and trying to survive, stay on the lead lap.
Well, here's what happens. They come in, you know, they made adjustments on their pit stops. They've gotten a little bit better. And here comes Michael underneath Jeff Gordon.
On the bottom of the racetrack.
Michael was up here in the high line, but that's what I'm saying. From one set of tires to the next, one set of tires like to run up next to the wall. Maybe this set with a little air pressure adjustment, he goes back to the bottom. That's the thing about this racetrack. You got to be able to move all over it.
But I also think the fact that when you're on fresh tires, you'll tend to want to run the bottom, and as they start to slide and give up, you'll move to the top of the racetrack, get a little better grip up there.
Exactly.
Larry and Darrell, as you know, as we watch this race start to kind of like unfold, you've got to make good strategy and decisions. When I'm watching Kurt Busch and Jimmy Fennig, they elected to stay out a couple extra laps here to try to maybe get in a fuel winner. But right now, what I saw, they gave up almost 2.5 seconds to our race leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr. at that time. Ooh, and Earnhardt gets a little bit loose right in the middle of that corner. You've got to be careful not to stay on the racetrack too long on old tires, because they're dropping off almost 1.5 seconds over the course of a run.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't give up that much to the leader. I know you want to stay out there, and in the perfect world, you stay out your competitor's pit and you catch a caution and you put a bunch of good cars a lap down, but sometimes it can bite you. You can be a hero or you can be a zero.
Well, nobody, excuse me, is giving Dale Jr. an easy time of it. Both Jeremy Mayfield and Rusty just fought him really, really hard to try and stay on the lead lap.
But they were so bad that they got themselves in this position. But like I said, when they came to pit road, they got their cars a little bit better. Now they're able to kind of hold him up. I don't think they can hold him up all that long, but they're able to hold him up long enough to maybe if they got a caution, they'd be back on the lead lap.
Darrell, the one thing I want to talk about, probably, and you guys have been talking about this, is the Chevrolets, if they're going to be good, if this new configuration is going to give you a big advantage, it is over the long run. Everybody's usually good on brand new tires. Driver gets up on the wheel, but if your car is balanced and working well, you can afford to let them get out there in front of you, because you know in a matter of 10 laps, you're going to be able to run them down and pass them, and your tires will be better longer than that. And here's one guy that's doing that. I think right now started 26th up to 7th is Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, well, you know, like I've told you all the time, you say take care of the tires. If your car handles good, it'll take care of the tires. If you got good grip, good downforce, that's going to make your tires last even longer.
Let's go to Nemechek's pit. Here's Jeannie.
Nemechek, one of 9 Cup drivers that got a lot of track time on Saturday, joining the Busch party. That, of course, includes Mr. Nemechek, who went from 29th to 1st Saturday. He's looking for the weekend sweep. As Jeff just said, 26th to 6th. This last pit stop, air pressure adjustments were the call of the order. 1 pound air added to that right rear tire. And Joe saying, hey, I'm a little free right now, but I think if we get a long green flag run, it will pay off. Steve?
Well, Jeannie, we reported a while ago Ryan Newman pitted on lap 48 because he thought he had a flat tire. He did not. The car was just handling poorly, and his problems continue. He's now running in the 12th position. He says the car is not good with another car in front of him, and it's also extremely loose. They're already talking about chassis adjustments for their next stop.
And the reason Newman is up to 12th is because since his stop, everyone else has had to pit. But now he's off sequence. He's going to have to pit again before the rest of the field.
But what a problem to deal with. I mean, that just will drive you crazy, because what he has a tight aero package. In other words, behind cars, the car don't turn, but the chassis itself is loose. So you really have to struggle to find that compromise to fix both problems. Most cases here today, you're not going to.
When you have an aero problem, the driver can't really diagnose what's wrong with the car. You got the nose up getting in the corner. You tell them it's tight getting in, but in fact, it's because the car's not down in the racetrack.
Ryan Newman, you see there, he'll have to pit in 40 laps. The rest of the field can go more than 50 laps before their next stop.
Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, he's closed back up on Michael Waltrip. This is a battle for second. You see Jimmy Johnson in the 48, and Jeff Gordon's teammate up to fourth, Bobby Labonte in 18 right behind him.
Now, Larry, I'll pose this question to you, Jeff, Mike, all of you. If we have equal cars, aerodynamically balanced, everything's supposed to be the same for everybody, what do you do now? NASCAR. What if you're NASCAR? What do you do now? You got all these Chevrolets up here. You got 6 in the top 7. We saw a dominance at Daytona. Now we're seeing a dominance here. Everything's supposed to be equal. What do you do now?
I know what I would do, and it won't happen here. It may happen very well next week at Atlanta when we're right there where the wind tunnel is at Lockheed Marietta. I take me a random select of cars from different manufacturers. I go to the wind tunnel after a race, and I look at the numbers myself.
Good.
Like that answer?
Good plan. I just want to know what you're going to do, because I got to be prepared.
And I want to congratulate Matt Yoakum on the world's longest pit report.
Matt?
Well, Mike, down here in the A pit, a little bit of excitement. Reason being, Ty Norris, who is the team spotter high atop the grandstand, had lost radio communication with Dale Jr. So Tony Uri Jr., the car chief, started spotting from on top of the pit box down here, from off turn 4 all the way down into turns 1 and 2. And they sent someone down to talk to a spotter from another team to go down and kind of shake Ty up a little bit. What happened? Ty had bumped up against the railing and changed the channel on the radio. So he swapped it back. They're back in radio communication. Meanwhile, one other update on the 2 car. They did not get a full load of fuel. They will have to pit sooner than expected, probably around lap 80 to 81.
I mean, this is definitely one racetrack, mile and a half. You do not want to run out of fuel, because Murphy's Law, you won't run out over there in 3 and 4. You'll run out going down the front stretch.
No, but it's not a bad gamble, Larry. I mean, you're trying to stay on the lead lap. You don't want to go a lap down if you can help it. So right now, you do what you got to do to stay on the lead lap. We'll deal with the ramifications of that when we have to.
Yeah, when you get that close to going a lap down, your strategy has to change.
78 laps, caution-free. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads from Michael Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Bobby Labonte, and the hometown favorite, Las Vegas Kurt Busch, is 6th. Dick Berggren.
This morning in the garage area, I asked Jack Roush which of his Fords he thought was most likely to win the race. Jack just shook his head and said he thought it was going to be a Chevy. But we've been listening to Kurt Busch, who's moving forward in the field following that pit stop. And just a moment ago, he keyed the radio and said, "Here's Chevy, 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 here's Chevy."
He's out hunting one. Well, he's hunting 5 of them.
I like that.
The field.
Got his nose down, his tail up, and he's looking for Chevrolets.
Somebody's going to have to tell him he can't win this race.
Right.
He certainly don't believe it.
Not yet. 80 laps are complete.